Please, a very warm welcome to Teya
Yes.
Skae.
Have you ever felt so out of control that the harder you try to be in control, the more out of control you felt? Have you been addicted to something or someone and you couldn't give it up? Fears, phobias, addictions. I taught this at a government accredited college for 3 years. And one of the students asked me, how come you're teaching this? In answering that question, I went to memory lane, to a time when I was a bulimic. 12 years a slave to bulimia. It took 12 years of my life, and there were no answers for me. And the irony is that at the height of my bulimia, I was runner-up Miss Australia in figure and fitness. And I might have looked healthy on stage, glowing with a fake tan. I fooled lots of people. I fooled myself. But deep down, I was dying. In fact, 3 years later, I was physically dying. I was seeing a psychiatrist for 3 years, and I was sitting 10 meters across the room, wondering, when am I going to get my breakthrough? Not with this methodology. I had to look for different answers. Fortunately for me, I was open-minded. So I read about nutrition and your mind, and it literally blew my mind. I learned about neurotransmitters and insulin and balancing blood sugar. And I thought, I can do this. I can give this a go. I can put this nutrition plan. And so I did this, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and I was no longer bulimic. I'm here to share and to help the 4.57 million women and the 1.5 million men alone in US who are suffering from emotional eating and eating disorders, bulimia. And the 5% of the Australian population, 1 in 20 students, is going to die from this deadly condition. Bulimics have a whole lot of other issues. They chain smoke, chew gum, and they cut themselves. After I overcame bulimia, I wanted to go to university. That was my dream, a BA, MA, and a PhD. And I was so excited to be in this milieu, and I was hanging out with physicists, with PhD students, international students. I really belonged. Now, I never answered why I got the bulimia. When we came to Australia, I was a chubby kid. They call me big fat Russian wog. I'm not even a wog. That's a Western Oriental gentleman. And my father said, lovingly, if you don't lose that fat, no one's going to love you. And I listened to my dad. He was my hero. And overnight, I put myself on a diet. Single laser beam focus. It suppressed my appetite and hunger. All I had to do was just not eat. And I lost a lot of weight, and I was over-exercising. And then that's how bulimia develops. And after 12 years of this, being at university, I find myself dying, physically dying, hair falling out in chunks, losing my memory, looking the same word in the dictionary 5 times. What? I can't believe this. And I have no idea. I go to specialists again, back to mainstream. No one knows what the heck's going on with me. Then finally, being open-minded, I do a hair test, like a hair analysis test. What the heck is that? You take your hair, send it to the lab, and it comes back. And I'm like, whoa, crazy, sexy science. Copper, selenium, iodine, magnesium, calcium, all these minerals were burnt out on my test. And the one thing that stood out was mercury, high mercury. And I'm like, could it have been all the tuna I was eating when I was bodybuilding? Oh, 6 amalgam fillings, 6 mercury fillings. Now, you know, you can Google what mercury does. You can watch a YouTube. It kills brain cells. It's a neurotoxin, and I had 6 of them. And all those specialists that I went to, not one of them asked, is it possible you can have toxicity? You know, you don't walk away from bulimia unscathed. That was my lesson. And so I went to environmental lab, got the mercury out. I remember coming out of that lab and it was like, oh my God, my senses are back. I could heal. I was so excited. And I said, when I get through all of this, when I get through my journey, I'm going to do a better job with people like me. People have multiple symptoms. So I'm here to tell you that there's no panacea for eating disorder. There's no panacea for addiction, but there are two things that you need to implement at the same time. You do one or the other, nothing happens. Employ two, progress at the other end. And the first is the crazy sexy science, biochemistry. And the second, you got to work with the right part of the mind. And that's what I did. And if you do that, you have emotional freedom and you actually gain the lesson. Because I don't get cravings for anything these days. I'm totally free and my relationship with food is awesome. And my relationship with myself is even better than before. In wellness, to your success.